Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Lottie, and this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video. And if you're listening to us on a podcasting platform, you know what to do. Leave us a review. 5 stars will be the best, but whatever you think, we deserve. Lottie, somehow I was able to emotionally pull myself together after that episode of X-Men 97. We're in a post, X-Men 97 episode 5 world. And it's tough. It's tough out there for a nerd that loves mutants, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And also, Lottie, my friend, we passed 300 subscribers. So we got something to celebrate there. But before we talk about all that stuff, my friend, how you doing today? And what you been up to that's nerdy?
Oh man. Pretty much playing a lot of Helldivers. Of course, watching X-Men 97, just as traumatized as the rest of the internet is. Besides that, not much really. I am. Oh, of course, I forgot. I am watching the Fallout show, which, by the way, if you get past a little bit of the first episode, it gets really good.
Okay. Yeah, I was concerned because you seem real down on it. I haven't started watching it yet. Just things have been conspiring around the house to kind of keep me from doing much. So getting a little flooding because of that big rainstorm the other day in the house, but that and working on the garden and everything. But also, I mean, my nerdy stuff has been pretty minimal. I did watch some more Star Trek Discovery. I've been catching up on some Avatar: The Last Airbender with my daughter. That's actually been really fun. Season 2 is so much better than season 1 of Avatar. It's actually a really great show. I mean, a lot of people know that, but just reiterating. And beyond that, preventing myself from spending a whole lot of money on action figures. So I've Lottie, you'll be proud of me. I said no. I looked at it. I had the cart ready. I was about to press it, and I was like, you know what? No. And then I didn't do it. So you can get better. But yeah, and also really celebrating this. Like I said, we passed 300 subscribers on YouTube. Not quite at 100 followers on Threads, but that's all. It's all good. I'm bad at social media. Lottie, I'm bad at social media. Lottie, I don't know that you're much better at social media than me. So I literally was just like, hey, we're 12 away from 300, man. That's pretty cool. And then some people that follow me that are also kind of, talk about and or follow, the Blurred Force One on Threads. They're like, hey, get this guy, get these guys over, they're really good. So just kind of made some connections on Threads. It was really cool. I guess that's the way you social media, Lottie. I don't know. I was just like, hey, this would be cool. And then some other channels, and then I found some other podcasts and some other YouTube channels. So cool stuff. But thank you to everyone who came in and subscribed to the channel, got us over 300. I think we're at 314 now. We're pushing on to 400. Definitely trying to make this channel as good as it can be. Trying to figure out some other content to do. When we're not, doing our day jobs and, trying to consume the content that allow us to talk about things on this podcast. So, but be checking that out. Again, thanks to everyone who showed us love. And also go show love to Lottie on his YouTube channel, Anu Kinihun. So all that said, we are going to talk about superhero things because is the Supercast. That's what we do here. And we got a good amount of news to talk about this week. For instance, Simu Liu talks about Shang-Chi 2 very briefly, but he does, he gives us a good update. Peacemaker season 2 begins filming. Hellboy, the Crooked Man, gets a release window, and we're, I don't know if you knew this even existed, but yes, another Hellboy is coming. There is a Coca Cola and Marvel kind of promotion that looks pretty cool called Coca Cola X Marvel The Heroes. Disney responds to Gina Carano's lawsuit. Jonathan Majors gets sentenced, and you may be surprised to what his sentence is. We talk about that pivotal X-Men 97 episode as the creator and I guess fired writer showrunner talks about what it means and what we can look to in the future. The Joker 2 trailer, we're going to react to that, and then we're going to talk about the Marvel CinemaCon news. Thunderbolts, Deadpool 3, and Captain America 4 all figure into that. So lots of stuff to talk about. Lottie, are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get into it. So Lottie, this is a real quick, very quick thing, because it's not a bunch of news, but it's just a little bit of like positive, forward-moving things, and that is about Shang-Chi 2. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, amazing movie. What, just super entertaining. Its only downside is that it came out dead in the middle of the pandemic, when people weren't quite sure about going back to the theater, and people were even having to wear masks at the theater and everything, because I remember having to wear one when I went to see it. It made like $425 million, which for an MCU movie is pretty lame, but remembering the situation it was in, pretty successful. In fact, I saw someone say it was the second highest domestic grossing movie of the year behind Spider-Man No Way Home, which is saying something. And also, it didn't get released in China. So there's a lot of factors. Some people that may want to look at it and say, oh, it was a failure, but I don't think Marvel looks at it that way at all. That being said, there was a post by someone on Threads basically saying that Marvel was disrespecting the fans of Shang-Chi by not making another one. And I was like, oh man, come on. They are working on it, because I remember hearing about it. They just, the director, he's doing something else first. But Simu Liu himself jumped into that thread and was like, he's like, I promise it's coming. So Lottie, there you go. It's official. But I feel like we already knew it was official anyway. So I guess the people who want to see Shang-Chi 2 can rest easy. Look, was there any doubt to you about this?
I mean, why would they not make a Shang-Chi 2? I mean, too, they pretty much, at the end of the movie, they pretty much they were saying that it was coming. Just, the pandemic really set things back. There's a lot of things that, a lot of people have to understand that the pandemic set a lot of things back, in the sense of even things that did well in the pandemic got pushed back. Good example. In the game, and when it came to video games, Ghost of Tsushima was one of the best-selling PlayStation games of the PS4 era, and it came out how many years ago? It came out in 2020, and it's 2024, and we still haven't seen another Ghost of Tsushima. It's just, after the game came out, they were like, yeah, you can't work on anything. You know what I mean? Just like, we're not going to force you to work on something start something while the pandemic is happening. So it's going to push stuff back a little bit, but of course they're going to give it. I mean, of course.
And let's not forget there was a strike. There's 2 strikes simultaneously last year.
Yeah. That
pushed a lot of things back, plus this reset at Marvel. But I'm just glad that he saw this and jumped in, was like, hey, it's happening. Don't, rest assured. And that's just just a cool thing of him to do. And we knew about this. I think it's just that people don't follow it closely like us, and so there's a fan base out there. I think a lot of people that when they finally see Shang-Chi, even if they've heard oh, it didn't make that much money, when they see it, they're like, oh no, this is the jam, and I want to see more of it. It's just, it took Black Panther 2 6 years to come to to screen. And that's even if you take the pandemic time out of it, it still would have been, 4 years before a new one came out. So that's just the way the business works. But glad to see that. Very glad to see him chime in there. So we'll look forward to more information about that, hopefully next year, because I think it's 2026 it's supposed to come out. And we'll let you guys know more about it then. Speaking about updates, guess what just started filming? And I was just like, I knew about this, but it was still kind of shocking to me. Lottie, your favorite Peacemaker is back filming right now, man. There was an official post by James Gunn where he was taking a picture of John Cena in the shiny helmet, from behind, just to say, hey, we started filming. Lottie, I'm beginning to be convinced that James Gunn is in fact a Terminator, because this dude's a machine. He's filming Superman and Peacemaker at the same time. How is he doing this?
I don't know how he's doing it. Like, I thought, I don't want to say I've written off Peacemaker, but it was just like I knew, me being understanding, I knew Peacemaker was going to be a little bit before we ever got it again. But to hear that he's working on it, that's cool, man, because like, Peacemaker, in my opinion, is one of the best things of 2022. That a magical 2021 and 2022, in my opinion, is probably the greatest time period for nerd culture when it came to TV shows. I mean, Invincible came out of 2021, Vox Machina, Peacemaker, so many good shows came out during that time. I'm just happy to see that, yeah, we're going to get a season 2. Can't wait.
Yeah, we had sort of talked about it, that they were going to film it simultaneously, and I was like, yeah, okay, sure, I believe it, but like, it's happening. And wow, like, if they can pull this off, and I'm serious, if they pull this off, filming these simultaneously, and they're both top tier, that studio must be like, going on all cylinders. Like, because you imagine the apparatus that's needed to do 2 projects simultaneously with some of the same people, at least the same director. He's not going to direct all of the episodes, but to have the same director be able to go between 2 projects at the same time, that's a pretty monumental effort. Like, in Hollywood, like, Marvel makes it look easy. People don't understand. Marvel makes it look easy because they slowly built up the apparatus to be able to film, multiple TV shows and movies at the same, around the same time. And it's still tough for them to pull out or put out good things. They manage it, but I'm saying it's hard to do all that for one studio. So if this works out, I have high hopes for the rest of their output, because they managed to make these both good. So either way, we're going to keep an eye on this. Hopefully we'll get some behind the scenes pictures and all that stuff, because it is James Gunn. He likes to show stuff like that. And we'll talk about all of that stuff when it comes out. So moving on to a non-Marvel or DC thing. Lottie, I think we sort of talked about this maybe a year or two ago, but Hellboy, the Crooked Man, is the next reboot of the Hellboy franchise. They're trying another bite at this apple, so to speak. And I'm, for one, I'm excited. I liked the last Hellboy. I know a lot of people didn't like it. It bombed. I liked it. I thought David Harbour was a really great Hellboy. But also, I will admit, Hellboy is not exactly high on my list of characters or properties that I'm just jumping up and down excited for. I'll watch them. I'll definitely check them out. I'll enjoy them. But I don't get excited for them. I don't know. Am I the only person that feels that way? Do you feel anything like that about Hellboy?
Yeah, I'm at best with Hellboy. Nothing against it, just It's like you said, it's not something that I will go like, oh shit, we're getting Hellboy. It's more like, oh cool, another Hellboy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll check it out. So the news of this was like, okay, fine, cool. We'll see what's up. Well, apparently it's coming out in the fall. They didn't say exactly what day, but it's slated for the fall, and it's been done filming, as I understand, since last year. So all of the post effects and all that other stuff have to be worked on. What I do like about this is that it's a period piece. It's set in the 50s, and it's about Hellboy and like another agent sort of stuck in like some town, and there's witchcraft and demons and shit like that. The Crooked Man is like the demon, and apparently Hellboy knows him or something like that. So this, in other words, this is a much younger Hellboy, because remember, he at least according to the original movies, he came to from hell in the 40s while they were fighting Nazis. And so this would be something like 10, 12, 13, 14 years later. And he's a younger Hellboy. I think that'll be interesting. But there you go, man. That we're getting Hellboy in the fall. Are you going to run out to see this?
No. I'm going to watch it, but I'm not going to run out to see it. Just being honest.
I think I'm going to see it opening day if I possibly can, or at least with that opening weekend. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on this. I want to see the trailer. That's really going to do it for me. So we'll keep an eye out for that trailer and let you guys know how we feel about it. Now it's time for us to do some shameless plugging for the free. We're doing it for no one's paying us for this, but we are going to talk about an ad for something, which is I don't think we've ever done that. I mean, technically, trailers are ads, but this isn't really a thing. But I saw this on Instagram and I was like, well, that's interesting. Let's talk about this. And it is this: Coca Cola and Marvel are doing a promotion together. And this is nothing new. Obviously, they'll do that for different movies or stuff, but this is actually just Marvel itself. And called Coca Cola X Marvel, the Heroes, and there's an AR, kind of component to this. There's prizes and stuff like that related to the AR game and everything like that. But before we go further, Lottie, are you even going to try to play this thing?
Probably not. No, not the biggest VR/AR guy.
I was like, oh, they got prizes and there's influencer packs and that's cool and everything. But am I going to do it though? I don't think so. Like, I mean, I guess I could, but like, I feel like that's not a thing. It's not a real thing for me, but I really would like one of those influencer packs just to feel like we're official, even though you'd have to win it. But whatever. That's not really what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about the commercial itself, which is surprisingly good. Like, it's surprisingly good. It's like this woman that's in a comic book shop and there's figurines and everything. And of course, like all Coke commercials, it's all about getting the human being a Coca Cola, right? Or a cool, refreshing Coke. So they have the Marvel characters jump off like comic book pages and the figurines and all this other stuff. And they're doing all their, and it is, again, it's surprisingly good. I don't know how you felt about it. I was like, well, damn, that's a really, y'all almost got me to download this AR thing so I can see what's up. But it was just really cool, I thought. What did you think, man?
Yeah. Just, I pretty much share your same sentiment. I always like when, people do nice, like cool things added on. Like I said, I watched it and I was just like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Like, I was actually like surprised, like how good it looks. Almost like it kind of reminded me of like a little bit of like what is like those old shows I used to watch as a kid. What was that thing? It will come on Nickelodeon. Like there was Foil Man, and I forgot what it was called. where it had like real people with like animated characters, almost like AR type thing. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if they made shorts like this, sort of like a Toy Story type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just seeing like the Colossus figure kind of come to life, and they have their affectations, everything, and Deadpool, the little Deadpool figure, just like munching on popcorn. The Black Widow the Black Widow coming out of the comic was really cool, and swinging off of the fan. It's it feels like not I don't even want to call it. It's not a student film, but it feels like the sort of thing that you know those of us who aren't necessarily going to actually make a film, but would just like make some cool little things featuring our favorite Marvel characters and different art styles and everything like that, reflecting like where the characters were coming from. I
Mhm.
just it's way better than it has any damn business being. But to be fair, it is Coca Cola, and they are like a huge business, so they're not going to put trash on screen. So
No.
I liken it sort of like the Coca Cola, the polar bears and stuff like that. They're gonna put some character and flavor into it to represent their brand well. And I honestly I think it makes both Coke and Marvel look really cool. So uh, I suggest checking out that trailer. Hey, you guys, if you want to try the AR game, let us know what's up. That's really not my thing, but good on Coke and Marvel for like that collaboration. It's really awesome actually. So anyway, uh, hopefully they'll do something else similar like that in the future, and we'll talk about that then. So sort of semi superhero related, but not really. Well, I always say when I talk about this, it is superhero related because technically Gina Carano was in Deadpool. She was in a Deadpool movie, so she was superhero related. But Disney responded to Gina Carano's lawsuit. Lottie, I know you're not super interested in this, so this is really just more for me because I'm loving every minute of this. Carano versus Disney situation. Because the more I watch it, I'm just like, why does she think that this is a winning strategy? You know, why do you think suing these guys is going to get you your job back? Oh, okay, cool. Like, but you know what? It is what it is. She's suing them. She thinks she was wrongfully terminated because of her being conservative. And their response was basically, look, we said cut it out, and then you kept on doing it, and then at one point you compared being conservative to being a victim of the Holocaust, and we just had enough of that. We're done. So they basically are filing to dismiss this. And basically to double down on that, like, no, we were right. It's our First Amendment right to not have to be in business with you if we don't want to. And so, please dismiss this. Now, the judge hadn't said yes or no to this yet. But that's Disney's view on it. Now, Lottie, I know you don't care that much about this, but I got to get your point of view on this. They basically said, your values don't align with ours. We don't have to be involved with you if we want to. It's our First Amendment right. And really, we asked you to stop. So, and you kept on. So we'd had enough. I mean, given all of that, do you think that this is likely to be the winning strategy for Disney?
I'm. What? I. Why did she wait so late to do it? This was like what 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a
Yeah,
long
well,
time.
it was a few years ago.
I think it was pandemic. Like
Because
it was like 2020.
it says February 2021 that they just parted ways with her, or
Oh yeah,
somewhere.
so
Somewhere.
it's been like 3 years. Like I heard about it, but me, I'm like, is she really going to? I mean, it's been so long. I don't know. Gina, listen, if they let you go unfairly or fairly, I understand. Well, if you've been let go fairly or unfairly, you know, however you feel about it, but it, they do have the right to let you go. you're a talented actress.
Is she though? Is she talented?
She's pretty talented. I liked her in what's it called? She did a really good job in Mandalorian. I think she can do good. She can get jobs elsewhere. But I think her like uh being so what's the word? Like hell bent on this is keeping her from getting work. You know,
That's true. That's very true. I mean,
she could. There's a lot of like acting roles that she can get in like House of Dragons and so many things. But when you are so bent on destroying your last employer, I mean, do you expect people to go like, "Yeah, we'll hire you"?
well,
No, they're gonna go like,
well, here's the thing. As I've said before, you can be conservative in Hollywood and still get work. It's not that, there's no checklist about it. You can even be a piece of crap. You can be shitty. Ask Mel Gibson and still get work. The problem isn't that. The problem is you aren't talented enough to be a problem. Yeah, you get what I'm saying, Lottie? If she were monumentally more talented, the studios would try to work with her. They'd be like, "Hey, just chill. Like chill. We'll do business." She's not talented enough for that.
I completely agree.
You are not talented enough to be a PR problem. So you are not Mel Gibson. You aren't. And never gonna be Mel Gibson. He can skate by despite some bullshit he's done in his past. And it's not because you're conservative, it's because you are a problem. Jon Voight, again, he's not like he's getting a ton of work now. Super conservative, right? Does he spend... Hell, he even says some bullshit about politics. Has it stopped him getting work? Fuck no, it hasn't. Because he's talented as hell. And for the most part, he's not spending his time poking the bear. Now, if you want to sit there and keep poking the bear and act like, you're not going to get, bitten, that's on you. But they're right. They don't have to employ you. You don't have a constitutional right to be employed by them. They have a constitutional right to not associate with you. There you go. And also, whatever happened to right to work? That right to work says they can just fire you whenever for whatever reason, and that's that. Oh, also, you have a fucking contract. Like there's so many avenues in which this should not prevail. But who knows what this judge is going to say? I think that it should be dismissed mainly because, what standing does she have? But we'll see. We shall see. But Disney is not going to. Obviously, they're not going to fold. And also, they are a multi-billion-dollar company, and they've got the best fucking lawyers in the world. So, and you got Elon Musk on your side, who last time I checked, not a lawyer. So, we shall see where this goes. I'm going to keep an eye on this, and we'll come back and talk about this when we get more forward movement. So, speaking of court cases, Lottie. Everyone's favorite Kang. Everyone's down with the Kang. Jonathan Majors Kang, that is. And he got sentenced. He tried to get, his thing overturned or appealed or whatever. Not appealed, but dismissed or something like that. Didn't work, so he got his sentencing. And Lottie, he got 1 year domestic violence counseling. So he has to go to a 52-week domestic violence counseling program. So, of course, this comes out, and now everyone on the two sides starts sort of responding to this. One thing that kind of irked me when I first saw this, and I don't remember if it was Screen Rant or who was it? I forget, but there was a headline. And I'm going to tell you what the headline was and why it pissed me off. It said, Jonathan Majors escapes jail time, ordered to 1 year counseling. And so, why it pissed me off, and why it should piss you off too, is he was sentenced to 1 year account. That's what the actually happened. Jonathan Majors sentenced to 1 year of domestic violence counseling. He didn't escape a fuck thing, right? There was an option to give him time in jail, but the judge decided that, given the circumstances, that wasn't that would not make sense. And instead, domestic violence count. He didn't escape anything. And the reason why this pisses me off, and it should piss everyone else off, is this is that sort of negative, news coverage that follows black men around. He didn't escape. You hear it? Escaped. As if he should have gotten jail, but somehow he wriggled out of it. Somehow he dug his way out. Somehow he absconded from getting jail time. As if there wasn't a judge with, considering the situation and the case and made a decision that seemed correct to the judge. And this is this, like, now Jonathan Majors is a big scary black man. He escaped from getting jail time. It's race baiting bullshit. And again, if I can remember who the hell it was that did that, they should be they should be ashamed of themselves. It is bad enough in this country and in this world that black people in general, and black men in particular, are already looked at side-eyed and as if, we're all, one step away from violence or some bullshit like that. To have it reaffirmed with a misleading ass headline like that just fucking pisses me off. Now look, you can feel however you want about the case. Some people think he didn't deserve to be charged at all. Some people think he should be buried under the jail. Whatever. But don't be doing that shit. It's bad. It is bad enough that all this stuff played out, to then add on this race baiting crap on top of it. So anyway, Lottie, what do you think about not just that, but like just Jonathan Majors getting his sentencing? Was it too light? Not light? Was it just right? What do you think?
Okay, first I'm gonna say this: Jonathan Majors needs to get on his knees and thank the Lord what was just given to him. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. And then the second thing I'm gonna say is that they always try us, man. They always try us, black men, when it comes to all of this stuff. It seems like every time a black person is involved in any type of thing like this, there's so much yelling and anger and rage. And it's not just in just movies, it's the sports industry too. But literally, you've seen it, but literally, I always bring this one up anytime someone wants to tell me about this one person who has alleged domestic violence stuff, and he's black. Do you remember the kicker for the New York Giants?
Yeah,
that was literally beating his wife to death, and the New York Giants had evidence and videos of him doing it and did absolutely nothing. The police knew about it, and they did this man is literally beating this woman to the point that she has to go to the hospital. No one talked about it. It was swept so deep underneath the rug. It wasn't swept underneath the rug. It was swept under the foundation of the house. The only reason we found out about this is because he went to another organization, and the other organization said, "What the fuck is this?" And said, "No, we're not signing this dude." 4 years of this man beating his wife, police reports and everything. But oh no, it's still not talked about. He has not even went to court. So I don't want to hear all that stuff, man. It's unfortunate. I'm not saying, listen, I am not saying the woman what happened with the Jonathan Majors' ex-girlfriend was not traumatic. But a judge looked at the case and said, from what they seen and from the evidence that we all have seen, that he doesn't deserve jail time. he deserves 1 year pretty much of probation. Pretty much probation. Community service / probation. And he's going to serve his sentence. We need to quit as a society constantly saying somebody deserves more punishment for something that we know we actually don't know the full entire story. And then on the other side, when someone does deserve more time and we know the full story, just because of their color or gender, they don't deserve that much time. And that is sickening. Just because Jonathan Majors is a big, black, muscular man, you feel he deserves more time than a man who literally beat the shit out of his wife every day for 4 years.
Which, to be fair, I don't know how many people know about that, but I mean, I get your point. This is the, you know, how the unequal portrayal of black people when it comes to things like this, that starts when we're young. You know, it's, you know, Jonathan Major, I think it's pretty clear that there was two sides to what was going on. This was not a one-sided altercation, very clearly. And also I understand that there is a built-in prejudice, I don't know if you're going to call a bias, that's probably a better one, in favor of a woman when it comes to domestic violence. And I don't even disagree with it, just necessarily, because generally speaking, it's correct. But in this case, there's plenty of evidence that maybe it wasn't so one-sided. Maybe it was a little more 60-40 on this. And again, taking all that into account, and also that this was a fucking misdemeanor. The actual, you know, felony charges were dismissed or dropped because the prosecutors knew they couldn't fucking make it happen. There was no way to get the felony stuff. So these are misdemeanor things. And you can try to relitigate that, whether or not he should have been tried on the felony charges. If a prosecutor declines to prosecute something, it's because they know they don't have enough. Which, by the way, most of the time you can get convicted on scant evidence. So if a prosecutor thinks their scant evidence isn't good enough to get people convicted, it ain't nothing. Just understand the justice system a little bit. Try to. That prosecutors don't drop cases they think they can win. If they think they can, if they think they can win, they'll take your ass to court or try to get you to plead out. So don't trust me when I say they knew they didn't have shit for those felonies. They just, as usual, overcharging, and then they'll drop those later on. It's a bunch of fucking mind games. The point here is it was a misdemeanor. Up to a year in jail was the sentence, or less than that, and he got less than that based on the judge's judgment of what went on, and that's what he got. What we are not going to do is sit here and co-sign bullshit in which you try to make him out to be like some kind of fucking, like he's literally digging his way out of prison or some shit like that. That's not what we are not going to do. We're not going to let it slip by when you do that race baiting shit. And that's what it is. Let's call it what it is. It's just race bait. You're using the dog whistles, to make it seem like he's more criminal than he actually is. And we ain't doing that here, at least not on this channel. So fuck that. If I remember who the hell they are, I will most definitely put you on blast in the next episode. So anyway, Jonathan Majors, go do your go do your counseling and do better in the future, because you're not completely out of the industry if you can just complete your stuff, stop all this stuff about Coretta Scott King, and just just focus on moving forward. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on what he does in the future. We'll let you guys know if anything comes up. So, Lottie, we got to talk about some traumatizing things for the entire internet, nerd internet in particular, and that is this. X-Men 97, first of all, excellent show. Absolutely top tier Marvel. We've been saying this for weeks now. Episode 5 could be one of the most devastating fucking episodes of TV I've ever seen. I think I called, when we did our review, I called, the thumbnail I put up was the X-Men's Red Wedding. And Lottie, you know what that is. You know what's up with that. Yeah. Not to spoil anything, but major deaths, some pretty traumatic stuff happened in the tail end of that. It lulls you into a false sense of security at the beginning, only to just like lay waste. And just a tough episode. And according to Beau DeMayo, that's just the warm-up. Episodes 1 through 5, just the warm-up. 8 through 10, that's where the real stuff happens.
You sick bastard. This is a sick
I can't take how is that's it? That's the warm-up. I want off of this ride, I think. Yeah, Beau DeMayo, he kind of broke his silence. He hadn't been talking about the show, but episode 5 was so not just well received. There was just such a cacophony on social media. Like, I'm not kidding. At one point, I literally saw nothing but X-Men 97 threads. Just, I could scroll, nothing but X-Men 97. People just talking about it. It's gotten people who were just like, I don't know if I'll watch that show, to go watch the show. It's gotten a lot of new eyes on it. And just generally, like I said, considered top tier. But Beau DeMayo did talk about it. I will also, and I'm not going to repeat what he said because it was a tweet, but he more or less was just like, look, this was the first 5 was for the OG fans. It was really to sort of give them, get them back into the series with the things that they already knew. But we're going to at some point have to pull the rug out from them and really get into the real meat of the story, the real serious stuff. And he also confirmed some deaths, the deaths of certain people like I want to say not Banshee. I think Banshee, Sebastian Shaw, Callisto, the leader of the Morlocks, Dazzler's dead. It's crazy. Because she's not a super important character, but Dazzler died. So there's a bunch of deaths in this. And I know I'm spoiling, but these are literally characters that are just side characters. So don't worry about it. And of course, there are a couple other really important deaths. Lottie, the man, look, this is how big of an episode this is. Beau DeMayo is fired and has nothing to do with the show anymore. Or let go, or parted ways, what have you. Doesn't have anything to do with the show anymore. And he came out of his silence to kind of talk to people about this episode, which, by the way, he wrote. And he says there's more to come, and it's more intense than this. Lottie, what's your response?
He's a sick bastard. Man, it's sick. You sick bastard. When I tell you, I went from smiling, I was smiling, had a big smile on my face watching this episode, to absolute horror. Like you know that meme of the of Sackboy turning his head and you see him looking, you see his face of absolute horror. That was me. I'm like, what the fuck? just if you haven't seen this episode, if you haven't seen the show, what the fuck are you doing? It is literally the greatest animated show from Marvel I have seen in the last 20 years. It is one of the best superhero things I have seen in a very long time. It is, like, during the review, I said, legit, It felt like Robert Kirkman wrote this episode. It felt like I was watching Invincible, but with X-Men characters. That's what horrified me. Me. I'm used to what I see with Invincible. But to see X-Men characters dying like the way they died in this episode, I was like, what the fuck?
It's definitely something people are going to be. We're still talking about it. It came out on Wednesday. People are still. What's even more fun is seeing people be like, I guess I'll check out this X-Men. I said, oh my god, why, how could you? And it's literally people are the what's the meme? You sweet summer child. Like I'm about to watch episode 5. Everything should be fine, right? No.
Nope.
Oh man, I love that, but Lottie, I mean, he's serious. 8 through 10, he said that's the one he really was working up to. I don't know if I can take it. I'm gonna have to smoke something. So I'm gonna have to get a some Hennessy or something ahead of time. I gotta pregame this shit because that was tough.
You ever see the that meme of the black dude with the cigar stressed out?
Yeah. Me at the start of every episode 8, 9, and 10. But I don't know if I can stress this anymore, but like I didn't know that X-Men could be like, I mean, I knew in the comics they could be like this, but like I didn't know that Marvel had the guts to actually do this. And also we didn't really talk about this in the review. The Watcher was there in the episode too. So the Watcher was watching some fucked up shit going down. Which, pulls it back to the multiverse thing. So there's so many implications for this episode. But I just kind of wanted to, talk about Beau DeMayo and saying what he had to say. Really interested to see where 8 through 10 go. And, everyone, like, just try to find your happy place next time you watch the show. Just trust me. We can get through this together. So anyway, we're going to talk about X-Men 97 more with reviews and everything like this. So we'll talk about all that then. There's a trailer that came out, much anticipated, thanks to CinemaCon. We got to see it. Joker 2, aka Joker, what's it called? Joker Folie Adieu. And it is Joker and Harley Quinn. Much anticipated for that $1 billion movie that people didn't know was going to be such a big success and then turned out to be huge. And let's just say Joker 2 has Joker is a big act to follow. Joker 2 has a lot riding on it. I will also say I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion because it's partly a musical, so it's doing out there things. That said, Lottie, we watched the trailer, man. How did you feel about this?
Matt, I think it might do it, man. Just hear me out. Hear me out. I think it might do it. I think it might get to $1 billion. And you know why I feel like it's going to do it? Because it feels like the original Joker, in the sense of you're like looking at it that it looked like it when I looked at the trailer. I was like, oh, this reminds me of when I was watching the trailer of the Joker back in like 2018, 2019. And I was just like, oh, this might be a good movie. And I just get the feeling that this is about to be the movie that people are like doubting so much, like they did the Joker, and then all of a sudden we're like, did you go watch that Joker movie? Did you go watch that Joker movie? Did you go watch that Joker movie? I just get the feeling, man. Because I watched the trailer and I started getting those feels of watching the original Joker just in the theater going like, why is this so good? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. But I get that feeling. What about you?
You're not crazy. No, I love this trailer. I watched it a few times. Um, Lady Gaga looks amazing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like I already think she's pretty great as an actor. I already think she has a pretty good look on screen anyway. The camera loves her, but seeing her in that black and red was just kind of stunning. She was killing. She was matching energy with Joaquin Phoenix. Like that, what I was afraid of, because Joaquin Phoenix is just he's an unbelievable actor. You know, he brought Arthur Fleck to life in a way I don't know that I knew that I wanted. So I was wondering if she could match energy, and she absolutely does. At least from this trailer, she absolutely is doing it. So we've already, checked off something that needed to happen. And she was not going to get upstaged by Joaquin Phoenix. There's real chemistry there. He is the same guy, but maybe a little more in control of who he is. The fantasy sequences make me feel like I'm watching the musical Chicago, which I'm down with because I love Chicago. But everything, like you said, it looks like the original. It feels like the original. We really didn't get an idea of the story, and I honestly didn't matter to me. I'm trusting Todd Phillips. I'm trusting Joaquin Phoenix. I'm trusting Lady Gaga. That they are going to pull this off because I still don't think it's going to get $1 billion because I think that the musical aspects are maybe a bridge too far for most, for some members of the audience who are not going to follow it all the way down there. Because the first one is more like a Scorsese-ish sort of character piece. This one is a little more out there. It's a little more, to me, it's more Joker-ish. Joker as in what we've seen in the comics than the first one was. But this one is more leaning into the psychosis and being a sociopath, psychopath, and having the theatrics of Joker. So I accept that, but not everyone's going to necessarily accept that about Joker, especially if they're pulled towards like the Batman, which is a lot more of a lot less manic and theatrical than we've seen from the Joker. But I loved it. I think this trailer is great, and I can't wait to see the next trailer. I can't wait to see this movie. I think it's gonna be great. So, I don't know. We will see. We're waiting on trailer 2. Hopefully, it'll tell us the story a little more. And we'll, look at that and let you guys know what we think when it comes out. So finally, Lottie, we're going to talk about CinemaCon, which it's the convention for theater owners. And, industry professionals go there too. The reason why anyone gives a damn about this is because the studios do presentations, though. So they show what they're going to come out with. Trailers and sizzle reels. Sometimes they show whole movies, like they show The Fall Guy during CinemaCon, which I understand is pretty great, and I can't wait to see that. But who cares about all these other studios, talking about doing a Transformers prequel about Optimus Prime and Megatron before they were Optimus Prime and Megatron? Who cares about that, right? And who cares about them doing a live action version of The Last Ronin of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or R-rated, not live action, but R-rated. Who cares about all that stuff? Or Dawn of the Planet of the Apes or whatever. What we care about is Marvel Studios and what they had to say. Because DC didn't really, they weren't there for a good reason. They don't have anything to show yet. So Kevin Feige came out. So there's a few things that I wanted us to cover. Obviously, they showed some Deadpool 3 stuff. So they basically showed some footage, and it's about him coming to the sacred timeline, right? And we're not going to get this because this is footage, so they're just describing it, but he's being called into to basically, come to the sacred timeline and save the sacred timeline and everything like that. And at some point, he's going to get Wolverine and everything. But we find out that he and Vanessa they're not together anymore. He's retired from being a superhero, and that's why he's a used car salesman. And also that he he gets a new suit from the TVA, and he's basically out there kind of doing doing work for them. So Lottie, I mean, again, this is just a description, but does this, how does this intrigue you? Also, I forgot one thing. Apparently, they're on one of the monitors. They remember that scene from Thor: The Dark World where Thor is holding Loki, and while he's dying, apparently something like that happens with Deadpool and Thor. But they're like, oh, you're not supposed to see that yet. So there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Listen, I knew Deadpool was going to probably do some time travel. It's a very, very what do you call it? Happy accident with how Deadpool 2 ended with the time travel thing, that Marvel started going to this perfect way to get Deadpool to just do that in his movies. Like, it's a very, very happy accident. The whole thing with the TVA, we kind of surmised that when we went over the trailer, to see that he's probably going to be fucking with some of the other MCU heroes at their timelines as well. Oh, that's very interesting. I wonder what other ones that he might go and just disturb and be like, oh, my bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
maybe he goes and like does something with like Tony Stark is about to die, and it turns out he actually took the glove from Tony Stark, and he's like, I need these. And he snaps his finger and disappears. I need these.
I love that they name check Feige. Like he's like telling Blind Alice, like, Feige said we can't talk about cocaine. No, like, I love the fourth wall breaking is good stuff. This sounds all good to me. I'm itching for a damn trailer, basically, because like how dare y'all show all this footage that we can't see yet? But it's pretty clear we're gonna get a trailer pretty soon, because July is gonna be here before you know it. That sounds very promising, though. I also would like to know when Feige came out on the stage and he was talking about Deadpool, he's like, oh, since this is R-rated, he starts saying the F word and stuff. Like, you've never heard Kevin Feige say the F word ever. He never said fucking in anything. So just to kind of show, like, yeah, we are gonna seriously let them be R-rated. I'm pretty hyped for this. I'm at the point like, look, just show me the damn trailer already. God, don't play with me. So
same here.
The other thing is they talk about Thunderbolts. Now, they didn't show any footage. They literally just started filming like a week or two ago. If you remember when we were talking about that behind the scenes thing that Florence Pugh did. But Feige did say that the Thunderbolts name change, the title change, actually means something. You remember, it's Thunderbolts with an asterisk on the end, right? Asterisk. And he's like, no, that's not accidental. That actually is supposed to be there, and it means something, but we won't reveal it till after the movie. We won't talk about it till after the movie's out. So literally, we're going to be talking about this for over a year, trying to figure out, what does the star mean? What does the little asterisk mean at the end of this? Lottie, just throw something at the wall. What do you think the asterisk is about? Thunderbolts, asterisk.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's really that it's deep. I think it's a joke.
What do you What's the joke though? I know I want to laugh. What's the joke?
I think it's like you know how sometimes when they're supposed to have a name, and let's say some character said, "Oh, I like this name better," and they change the name to that with an asterisk, like impending or something. I kind of have a feeling that it's not like some hidden deep hidden meaning. It's a joke.
Yeah.
I get that feeling.
That I mean, there's speculation that they're the Dark Avengers, which okay, sure. Um, I don't buy that, but yeah, there's speculation that the asterisk is hiding part of the actual title, that maybe it's Thunderbolts colon something, you know, or that it's represents the century or something. Like, I don't know. It's That's the thing, is it could be anything. It could be a footnote somewhere. Who knows? It's I think we're gonna spend the next year, not all the time. We're just gonna be like, well, maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. So either way, we'll keep an eye on that. I actually just want to see some behind the scenes footage, or pictures, or whatever, or just anything besides that asterisk. So finally, the last bit, and this is the big one. This is why I saved it for last, because it's about Captain America 4, Brave New World. Where they got to see a scene from Brave New World, and it's a pretty big scene, my friend. It's about Sam Wilson meeting up with Thunderbolt Ross, who is the president of the United States at this point, and he tells him he wants Sam to reform the Avengers. So I mean, cool beans there. Later on, he and Joaquin Torres, aka the new Falcon, are in plain clothes at a speech that the president is giving, and also at the same time, Isaiah Bradley is in attendance as well. Now, Isaiah Bradley, of course, is the Black Captain America, the guy who received the Super Soldier Serum first, before, or was it after? Actually, I think within the MCU, is it before or after? I can never remember. Either he got it. I think he got it after Steve Rogers, and was a super soldier in Korea before he was captured by the Soviets, and spent 30 years in captivity being experimented on by the Soviets. Possibly the experiments led to a serum of their own that led to Red Guardian. I think that's the timeline. But within this scene, he suddenly, very out of character, stands up and attempts to kill the president, Thunderbolt Ross. And Sam and Falcon obviously have to jump in and stop the fight, but he's getting manhandled because he doesn't have the serum. So that's the scene, and he's like, and later on Ross is like, well, you're not Steve Rogers, and I think Falcon's like, yeah, it's like, I know I'm not Steve Rogers. So that's basically the footage, the description of the footage.
Mm-hmm.
Lottie, this sounds pretty damn badass. They describe it as more of in the realm of what is it, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So what do you think?
I think this is one of the things that I think Marvel has missed since, I want to say, the Captain America movies, is a little bit of the more grounded espionage, boots on the ground movies. Not everything has to be super atomic lasers and alien overlords and timeline destroying entities. Sometimes you just need to grab a shield, run and beat some people up with your fist. Sometimes we need stuff like this, and this is the type of movie that I would love to see. Like you said, Harrison Ford still able to stand upright is a
He's in actually really great shape, considering he's like 81.
Yeah. Uh, I would love to see. I would love to see I would love to see him become the Red Hulk, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. But yeah, man, I'm what I just read and what you explained as well. I'm this is what I want. This is what I want. And I definitely haven't seen a movie like this in what? It's been almost 20 years now. The last Captain America was 2016. So
I'm about to
been a
say,
while.
yeah, it's you know, it's been eight years, but well, not Captain America, but like the Winter Soldiers. It's been a while. I do think it's a good tone to take. And it makes sense. Like, what Falcon and the Winter Soldier tried to do it, but kind of got caught up in a little silliness here and there. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
that being said, the sleeper agent aspect, especially, I love that they brought Isaiah Bradley into this. I was hoping that they would not. I mean, I knew Carl Lumley was going to be in this, but I was hoping they wouldn't abandon that character, if for no other reason, because his grandson in the comics becomes Patriot, the Captain, sort of Captain America, for the Young Avengers, but also because his story is just so good. So I was glad to see that the whole sleeper agent makes sense. He was, I mean, why wouldn't they think that he was literally held captive by Soviets for 30 years, and in that same amount of time, within the same time period, they turned Bucky into the Winter Soldier. So makes
Yeah.
sense to me. That said, I kind of I'm annoyed that they're still not putting respect on Sam Wilson's name. God damn it! You know what? I'm sick of this. What does this man have to do? Thunderbolt Ross? He's literally saved the world multiple times, mind you. Multiple times he has saved the world, and you dare use Steve Rogers' memory to throw stones at this man? If you don't get the hell out of there, and you're alive because of him, get out of here. You don't put some goddamn respect on Sam Wilson's name. I'm mad like I'm Sam Wilson. Sick of that. Sick of all this. He ain't the real Captain America. I'm sick of all of this bullshit talk. Sam Wilson is Captain America, damn it. Sick of y'all talking this foolishness. I mean, look, the GOAT himself laid the shield in the man's hands. What do you want? Anyway, I hate to keep bringing this back to racial, politics and shit. But ain't it just like that a black man got to keep on proving that he can be where he is. He got to keep on proving it. No matter what he does, he always got to keep, it's like he's got to keep renewing his membership into I can be Captain America. What does Sam Wilson have to do so y'all can just like shut the fuck up and be like, yeah, he's Captain America? What does he have to do? Anyway,
Yeah, it's crazy, but I feel like this is I literally love that aspect is being used in the movie because it will make the audience like it's good to have a little good, even though Cam Wilson's not coming of age, he's helped. The man said on your left, you know. It's just, but sometimes it's good to have that again, a little coming of age hero thing.
yeah, I just wish they'd stop. Well, I get it. This is a storytelling device. I'm not against the storytelling device. I'm just like, Thunderbolt Ross, you the last motherfucker that should say anything about Sam Wilson's credentials. So just like chill. But whatever, we'll see. I'm really excited about this. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to that first trailer. We're not getting this until next year, but I'm ready. So anyway, we'll cover that all when that does release. So Lottie, we have covered all of our news for this week. But you know what, you guys, maybe we missed something. Maybe you guys had a different opinion. You wanted to agree with us. Just wanted to show some love. Whatever the case may be, you know what to do. Get down there to the comment section and leave your thoughts there. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blurred_force1 on Instagram and on Threads. And it's super_not_funny show on TikTok. And while you're doing all that, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see this podcast and the other content that we make. And of course, I can't do this show by myself. I need Lottie to, chime in, well, really to kind of co-sign my rants, but also to let us know about, video games and anime and all the other things related to superhero things. So, Lottie, where can they reach you on social media?
Oh, you can always follow me on my Instagram and YouTube channel, but mainly my YouTube channel. Instagram is fine. YouTube channel. I know there's quite a few people here that are following my YouTube channel and who have followed me now that I have threads. Please, I have like 100. I have like 200 people following me on threads. Just subscribe to me, please. You will not be. I'm not like Mo said. I'm not opposed to begging because I really would love this YouTube channel to get a little bit off his feet. I put a lot of time and effort into making my content easier and easier to digest instead of just live streaming all the time. I'm now cutting down my live streams into episodes so it's easy for you to see. I put them in a playlist for everybody to keep up with. So please, you just subscribe to my YouTube channel.
It's like, please, baby, please. Yeah, I'll go show love to Lottie. He definitely makes the Supercast as great as it is. And again, thank you all who subscribed, helped us get over that 300 mark. Tell your friends, tell people that like nerd content, like listening to a couple black nerds just nerd out about superhero stuff, or just any nerdy things, like to come check out the channel and encourage them to subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Help us do social media because we suck at it. So anyway, next week we're gonna talk about more X-Men. Hopefully we'll hear more about what's going on with Peacemaker, Superman, and all that good stuff. But generally, we're going to keep an eye on all this superhero stuff. So until then, I've been Mo, your comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. We'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.